That was probably the most batshit insane thing I've seen in a long time, and I fucking loved it. Oh my god. Oh, it's everything it says it is on the box, folks. I don't think there's much I need to explain about this one. It is I came and saw this film because I needed something like this right now. I needed it, and boy did I get exactly what I paid for. A dirty, ugly, slaughterhouse Christmas movie that takes the best of things like Die Hard and Home Alone and all of that and crunches it together, cranks up the gore factor, and just goes, fuck it. And it kind of just makes you wonder, like, why do we love those type of things? More to the point, what makes them work? I mean, why is it that people... I don't think it's just that it takes place at Christmas, but why do people tout the fact that Die Hard is a Christmas movie? Why do people watch Home Alone, a movie which I just recently rewatched, and it's pretty horrible. It's not a great movie. I'm sorry if I'm spitting on anybody's holiday classics here, but it's a pretty god-awful film with some god-awful characters. But, why do people love it outside of nostalgia? Gremlins, why do we love this idea of monsters running amok in Norman Rockwell City during Christmas? What is it about it, and what makes those movies, makes people think of them as holiday classics? Well, honestly, I think it's when the formula is done right. I think you need equal parts just fuck you to the holiday. Or not so much the holiday, but the holiday season. I can tell you, having worked retail during the holidays so many times, that by about the third week and the 5 millionth replay of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, you need that release. You need, it's not that I don't love good, wholesome things, It's a Wonderful Life, Miracle on 34th Street, White Christmas. I'll even plead guilty and say I find a certain charm in Hallmark Christmas movies. But I think when you've been, after a certain point, I think we're fine with it when we can kind of administer the dose. It's kind of like eating candy. When you control what you're eating and how much of it, yeah, everybody likes, some ice cream or a candy bar. But when you are force-fed it, and it's the worst fucking candy bar in the world, and you're being forced to eat it every day, for 2 months, yeah, you need the purge a little bit. But there are a lot of Christmas movies or holiday films that have kind of a negative spin. But what makes the classics classic? What makes us go back to them? And I think it's that other part is that they have to have a genuine heart, even at their core. Even Die Hard at its worst. Yes, it's a big 80s action movie, but there is a heart behind it. There is a real person, a real guy with a very simple need, and real friendships, real relationships that are at the center of the film. Same thing with Home Alone. Same thing with Gremlins. Same things with National Lampoon Christmas Vacation. For all the negative and all the, pardon the pun, but the lampooning of the holiday season, there is a genuine heart and something real to it to give it grounding. And that's what makes this film work. This is why I think this isn't just a piece of disposable, anti-Christmas trash viewing. It definitely veers into that. But there is a genuine heart to it. So I've gone off on a bit of a rant here without really talking about what the movie's about, and I don't think I really need to. David Harbour plays Santa Claus, who ends up trapped in a house that's being attacked by terrorists, and he goes fucking ape shit on him. And okay, yeah. So let's break this down. So first of all, the heart of this movie is the relationship between David Harbour's Santa and the little girl whose parents are going through a divorce. She's like the sweetest person in a rich family of ugly reality show assholes, and every negative stereotype for rich people you can think of, and she's like the one pure good thing, and they form a bond. David Harbour's Santa is disgruntled with the holiday season, disgruntled with kind of what it's become of, is he needed? Does anybody care? Why does he even do it every year? And this little girl, through her Tiny Tim, but way less irritating, genuine belief and genuine good heart, kind of reminds him what it is all about. And yes, that is kind of distorted through the blood and the gore. And I think that's what this film really was smart to get right, is it really got the heart of the movie correct. And you could have made this movie and just relied on the cleverness of the premise and the creativeness of the kills and all that, and you could have cut it down, made it a lot shorter, and it probably would have been serviceable. But I think this film actually wants to go a little deeper and try to be about more than just that. And it does give us a Santa Claus that we sympathize with, that we care about, that we understand his plight, because we've all been there and we've all felt it. David Harbour, they have been trying so hard to get him into a franchise or something that can maybe push him to that next level. The Hellboy reboot did not work. He's fun as Red Guardian in Black Widow, but that's not really his franchise, even though he's going to be in Thunderbolts. But they've been really trying to push this guy into that next level of stardom. And I think this is the film that needed. He needed something that was original, that was fresh, and that you could get the best use of his unique combination of hulking badass / blue collar, chubby guy. They tried doing that with Hellboy and it didn't work too well. You just can't beat Ron Perlman. But this is his movie, and I think this is the movie that shows this guy can be a main event player. He's got the goods. He just needs the projects that work to his strengths and let him be. And this film, I think, is the best thing I've ever seen him in, to be completely honest. I think this is his best work. Funny, touching, badass. It's really great stuff. Yeah, like I say, his best performance. Also, we got to give big up to the surprise of the movie. I didn't know that this was going to happen. John Leguizamo as our main villain. I love John Leguizamo. Excuse me. John Leguizamo has always been cool and fun and just a very unique screen energy and presence. And it was great to have him here, playing his best psychotic bad guy. And there's always this little twinkle in John Leguizamo's eye. And I think that's something that's very true about the entire cast. Everybody knew what kind of movie they were making, and they cranked it up to 11. And just, you could tell everybody was having a fucking great time with just the absurdity, the inappropriateness, the gore. Everybody was just loving it, and that really comes across on screen. Going back to the heart of it, for a little while I thought like it actually had too much heart. Like it felt like there was a long stretch. It's almost a 2.5 hour long movie almost. And there's a long stretch where nothing really happens. And when you come to a movie called Violent Night, you're expecting, kind of big action scene, break, big action scene, break, big action scene, break. And this movie kind of goes a different formula. Little action scene, long break, big fucking run to the climax. And so there for a while, I was starting to lose interest a little bit. It's like, this is not, I'm loving what they're doing, but, you know, they kind of go over the same thing multiple times. You know, can we fucking, I don't care about the family drama or I want to see Santa butcher some people in creative holiday-themed ways. Let's move on. But I think in the end, it actually benefited the film because you front load it with all the heart, all the character development, all of the, you know, the grounding material, and then when it's time for it to go fucking ape shit, you just let it. And holy fuck, that entire third act is just, it is glorious gore. And I'm not a gore fan. I do enjoy the kind of over-the-top gore stuff, you know, Tucker and Dale versus evil, that kind of thing. And this movie is leaning more towards that. There is only one section in here that I couldn't. And that's the little girl does her own version of Home Alone, only the traps have the actual effect as opposed to the comic effect. And I don't like watching Home Alone for all the pain and everything, and now they're actually being real, you know, ironically realistic with it. Oh, that whole sequence is just, it was so hard to watch. It was like, oh, that's almost too much. Everything else, I'm sure people who love Home Alone are gonna dig it and just get off on it. But every other thing they do in here is so creative and so fun. Playing with all the trappings of, you know, fighting with Christmas decorations, fighting with, you know, snow blowers, ice skates, just fighting with a nativity scene, how the clever way they use a chimney in one of the fights. The kills are really creative. They really had a good time with this. And again, everybody involved seemed to know what type of movie they were making and what the deal was, and they just said, we're going full fucking tilt. And yeah, that entire third act is, I don't say this often, and pardon me for saying it, I feel kind of dirty even thinking it, it's fucking baller, okay? I don't even know if that's a fucking expression or if I'm using it right, but it is fire. All right, it is a fucking holiday gore fest masterpiece. And like, to the point you're like, shit, they did, when they do some things, and it's like, you're just like, what the fuck? And you just have to laugh at the absurdity and what mind thought this up. And yeah, it fucking works. I don't know if this is destined to become another holiday classic. I don't know if it's going to be mentioned in the same breath as things like Gremlins, Home Alone, Die Hard, National Lampoon, because it does definitely take it all up a notch. It's trying to outdo all of them at their own game. So, I don't know, but I do think in that same vein that I love twisted Christmas songs to kind of break up the sugar attack, and how I love the South Park and Family Guy Christmas specials and American Dad. This one borrows a lot from the American Dad Christmas specials, if you know kind of the overarching story of Santa fighting the Smiths. This one definitely has a bit of that going on in there. But when you kind of get to that point in the holiday and you need that catharsis a little bit, just a little, so you can kind of go back and enjoy the peace on earth and the goodwill to all people and all that, I think this is going to be a movie a lot of people might reach for. I think it's going to be a guilty pleasure film for a while, but I fucking dug it. Again, I feel like its biggest flaw is it is a little too long. I do feel they could have trimmed it a little bit, kept it leaner, but yeah, it's down, it's dirty, it's gory, and it's just fucking hysterical. Love it. So yeah, I don't really have a whole lot to add on to this. Yeah, just you know what you're getting going in. You get a little bit more in terms of real human connection, more than you maybe thought you did or would. The new origin story for Santa Claus is fascinating. So yeah, just I think, yeah, enjoy it. Watch this and enjoy it. All right, so let's wrap this up. We're wrapping this up a little early, but that's okay. So final grade for Violent Night. I'm torn a little bit. And I think I'm going to err on the side of caution on this one. I'm going to go a B+ for this one. There's a part of me that wants to bump it up to an A-, just for sheer creativity, but I don't know. There's something holding me back, and I think it is the pacing issue and a little bit too much time spent with the cliches of every horrible rich person we've ever seen. Even though it's all part of the joke, I do think they could have gone a little bit trimmer and neater and a little bit more with it. But on the whole, I had a great time watching this, and I think that dark little part of yourself is going to enjoy watching it too. So yeah, I say check it out while you can. It's a fucking good time. So there you have it. There is my take on Violent Night. So thank you all for joining me. Thanks for coming along. Happy holidays to you, and as always, drive safe, and I will see you at the movies.